All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Aired Out Podcast live from Fly on the Wall Productions, North Main Street in Barrie. I've heard the rumors, I'm sure you've had too, that we're looking at temperatures right back into the 80s for this coming weekend starting on Friday. It is summer is not over, I'm telling you, despite the fact that we've been into the lower 40s in some towns, other areas reporting a little bit of frost to lead off the week here, but there is hope for some warmer weather. So get those projects going if you haven't yet already. It is I love temperatures like this. A little bit of fog sitting down in the valleys in Vermont. It is absolutely beautiful. Listen, I'll tell you right off this morning, leading off. This guest that I've got on has given me goosebumps on top of the goosebumps for the last couple of weeks that I've had a chance to listen to his music. And the thought that he is just a local boy here in Central Vermont, the Green Mountain boy, graduated from U32 school, is just amazing. I have always maintained the fact that I'm so stunned by the caliber of talent that we continue to shake out of the hills of the Green Mountain State, and this guy is one of them right here. Bon Lafayette with me in the studio this morning. Now, looking at both you and your dad, Rick, if I was to go with which one was more of an outlaw, I'd probably have a little bit of money on Rick.
No contest on that one.
What's going on, boys?
Well, we all got a little bit of outlaw in us, right?
Oh my God.
Good morning, JD. We're happy to be here,
dude. Welcome home.
Absolutely, yes. Man, I love hearing that.
It's not welcome to the podcast, which of course it is, but it's really welcome home, man.
Yeah.
You were just here a short time ago for like a quick touch and go, and then had to run back to Texas. Now you're here for what, a week?
Yeah, I flew in last Thursday. We're going to be leaving on Sunday, so I was here for about 10 days. My girlfriend, she flew in on Saturday. So we've been just trying to take in Vermont while we're here.
Now, is this Catherine's first time in the Green Mountain State?
This is her third time.
Third time.
Yeah, but we tried to choose a little bit of different time periods. I had her up for Christmas.
Okay.
I had her up for hunting season, which was a bit more for me than it was for her.
All right.
But this year...
Did she go long on that? Did she get into that at all?
She didn't go hunting with me. We did spend a little bit of time out in the woods, but really that was her first experience in Vermont.
Okay.
So I kind of gave her the keys to the vehicle and said, go where you want,
That's
check
cool
out
as
the
hell.
place. And she went all over. She went to New Hampshire, she went to Salem,
Wow.
she went all over Vermont.
And you guys are going to run to the Tunbridge Fair this week.
Absolutely. That was the main reason that we ended up choosing to come back for this time period.
Does she understand how amazing the corn on the cob is there? Does she have a concept?
I haven't told her a whole lot. I really want this. I wanted to walk up, and I wanted to be like a little fat kid seeing cake,
We're
man.
head over to the beer tent.
Rick, that doesn't really surprise me.
You need to. You got to mention that Catherine shot a really nice buck in Texas.
She did. No, she did. She is
Really?
definitely a hunter. She hasn't gotten a chance to hunt here yet, but she's gotten
Wow.
Way nicer deer than I had ever before she invited me to come hunt on her
I
property.
love that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I got to tell. I'm going to lead off by saying this right now. This guy sitting next to you, if there's ever a dad who loves his kid, holy shit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
This guy, he lives for you. He
100%.
Is, I have
my biggest cheerleader.
First of all, I just met you in the flesh just 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We've only chatted a few times. I've only met your dad, Rick, one time.
Yep.
And in the first 10 seconds, it was very apparent of how much he loves his son and how proud he is of you.
Absolutely.
10 seconds, bro.
Absolutely. No,
You
I
know,
believe that
there's
100%.
to see a dad out there in this world, in this society, who loves his kid so much is so refreshing because there's a lot of shit going on,
Yeah.
and we don't see that all the time.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And I mean, the biggest thing is, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, and I hope you can relate to this. There's usually always is some person in your life that's a rock, and there's always a level of expectation that you're trying to live up to. So that's definitely something, I know how my father feels about me and how he, cherishes me and everything like that. So that's something that I try and make sure I live up to those expectations as a son.
I got a couple of text messages saying, man, it's like, why haven't you had Bon Lafayette on your podcast yet? And, I'm busy, man. It's like I'm trying to field a lot of shit. And then as soon as I finally took the time to listen to you sing, there was a big wow factor. I mean, right off. And I told you that you've been on the air with me by telephone, but I mean, right off, man, that first 5 seconds, not even, was the wow factor.
Oh, it was definitely powerful. And I was actually really nervous releasing that song because that was something that I hadn't really done anything like that before. And
your song Leaves.
Yeah, the song Leaves. And that was the whole experience of it really was unexpected. I knew how I felt about the song and how it made me feel, how passionate I was about it. And
so obvious.
Blew me away.
It was definitely, I wasn't expecting to get the type of reviews and just appreciation, comments, feedback. All of it was just amazing. It really was.
Now, I'm guessing that Catherine has a pretty good idea of there's this part of your soul that is in love with this state.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
The memories,
100%.
the feelings, the smells, the sights, everything that go along with living in Vermont. And it is so apparent in your music, which has brought me to tears, which you know, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it takes a lot for music to. I can feel music very powerful, but to actually create some waterworks going is pretty
100%.
profound.
I mean,
and him too.
I felt the same way.
This old tough fella right next to you. Don't be buying the bullshit. He's a sappy little boy.
Yeah,
you are, Rick.
That's why I brought this picture. This is me.
Show
and him.
that.
This is me and him at Boulder Beach up in Groton.
Right around age 8 or 9, maybe.
He's a little bugger.
7, 8, somewhere in there.
I dragged him all over that area.
Yeah.
Time flies, but
Just
it was
haul him
still
out
here.
there at 4 o'clock in the morning, sit in the deer blind.
My God. Wow. Great memories, man.
But
I love that.
Bon's music is so good because it comes from his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely comes from a place that's not just biological and in the throat. It comes from his soul.
It was there.
Well, I would say it's a mixture of
as soon as he
things.
could speak, it was
I mean,
there.
yeah, I would say, honestly, some of it is biology for sure, in the aspect that I would say it's soul. I would say it's teaching and biology. I mean, if I wasn't your son, I don't know. I mean, there's so many factors from how my life would be different. Just thinking about music alone, apart from everything else.
Yeah.
The ability for me to hear, I didn't get hearing aids until I was 4 years old. So for that first 4 years of my life, the only thing I was hearing was this guy. And if he wasn't as loud as he was and singing all the time like he was and everything like that, I mean, even my ability to speak right out of the gate would have been impeded. So that's, I would say a huge part of it is because of my father's son, and that's a huge part of my inspiration too. Is always been music and singing and just having fun with it, man.
And Rick, you got some roots, man. You tell us about you musically.
Well, my first gig was we had a band called M16 back in the early '80s. Our first gig was a night of, it was pouring rain. Jeff Rogers was building a new house over in East Calais, and he had an old construction trailer backed up on the side of his house with some blue tarps hanging over it, and that was our first gig ever. And then
I love that.
Then we proceeded to we just started playing all over, me and Pete Richardson and Joe Palmisano and Mike Constantini, and Joe's younger brother Chris was 14. He was our rhythm guitar player, and we used to like sneak him into Gusto's and do gigs for my dad and all of his friends. And
Can't do that now.
Frank OT was running Gusto's then, and he's like, Rick, it'll be all right. Just make sure he doesn't drink any booze, and everything will be fine. And we'd go in there and slam out Hendrix and AC/DC and ZZ Top and Cream and all that stuff. And it was, that just kind of led the way. And then I joined Kicker, and Kicker was we played. That's back when you could play four nights in the bar. We used to play down at Bullwinkle's down here and all around here, because I knew that we were based out of the Brattleboro area, and we played New Hampshire, Mass, New York, and then we'd come up here, played a couple big toy run parties, and that.
You guys were really good too.
Yeah,
you guys were awesome.
We rocked them. And
Absolutely.
Then I haven't been in a band in 6 years. The last band was PSST, and we rolled into Williamstown, and we rocked the music club up there and a couple other places, Granite State Harley.
Nice.
And I got a couple of songs out there that
We're
I
hoping
recorded.
to put something together.
I recorded and copyrighted them. And I didn't know how to get them out. I had them on Reverb Nation, and it wasn't really for what I had to pay. I was like, well, I'm not paying that. I'm not getting anything out of it. But Vaughn actually, him and Caleb showed me how I could get them out there myself. So we're gonna try to do that. And I miss it. I just don't have time. I don't have time right now. I'm living my musical through him right now because I don't have time to do it. But I miss it really bad. It was great. Saturday we went up to Corey Copeland's Venison Feed, and he did a little test run with a couple of tunes. He let me sing with him, so that was fun.
Wow.
That's a good time.
That song, All In, that was great. I love that song. It brings, every time I hear it, it just fills me full of energy. I think it's a great song.
Yeah, no, it's a really
You're
good
gonna
song.
you're
So
gonna
I started the album with it.
You're gonna sing with us or sing for us in just a little bit here.
Yeah.
Wayne Warner is tuned in from Nashville, watching you right now. Have you been to Nashville yet?
I've been to Tennessee. I don't think I've been in Nashville specifically. I've been in Memphis a couple times. I've been hearing a lot of people tell me I need to get out there. The reality is I'm in a spot right now that's perfect for music, and I just haven't taken as much of advantage as I should. I'm sure everybody can relate. Just stuff just happens.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
busy with work. I'm trying to build a vehicle when it's not 150 degrees out down there.
Yeah, right.
I'm also trying to enjoy a little bit of my free time and relax, hang out with my dog, and make sure I value the people that are close to me and put that time there.
Sure.
But I really do want to get my music more so out there. I've done some rap stuff down there, but I haven't really done anything with country. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to do anything down there yet with country until I did it here first. That was more important to me. Wow. Was doing it here first, was starting that snowball up here. That was always the main goal. I wrote Leaves, and in the 9 days that it spanned, the 17,000 that it did, I wrote this album for you guys because I knew I was going to come up here and do some shows and stuff, and I wanted to have something to give you guys. And so that was pretty roots. Took about 9 days, and that was the creation of that album.
I'm blown away I am blown away that they produced that album and that he wrote all these songs. in 9 days. He's such a great songwriter, and to put that voice and that heart to those, it tore me apart. I'm glad I was at home by myself when he played me that. 'Cause
I was going to ask you what your reaction was when you heard that.
Well, I told Bon. So last year we went to Metallica down in Jersey, Metallica weekend, and we're sitting out behind
Wicked show.
We're sitting in my truck and behaving ourselves out by Ellis Island, and he starts doing his song in the truck, Full of Promise, which has a little bit of singing in it.
Yeah.
And I said, Bon, you need to sing. You're a really good rapper. You're a good writer. But I said, you need to sing, man. You got to let that voice out. You need to sing. And when I first heard Leaves, it just hit me like a train. And I told him, too. I said, I'm your dad, and I love you. But if your song sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks.
Yes.
And I've got some songs that aren't my favorite, and I've got some that are really. But I was blown away. Leaves and this new album, every single song, I think they're great. I think they're really good, and there's a couple of favorites of mine. And
well, let's play Leaves.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Can we do it Leaves right now?
You want me to sing?
No, I'm gonna
Just
play it
listen
right
to it,
off
yeah.
right off
Let's listen to it.
right
I
off
love
the
it.
Green Mountain Boy on YouTube. Which, by the way, if you haven't yet subscribed, frankly, you're missing out. Green Mountain Boy is the name of Bon's YouTube channel, where you're gonna find this one right here, Leaves. My man, that is such a profound song right there. And, you know, Rick and I were just saying that one and your other songs, I mean, all of them, man, are just so, so powerful.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that song. I mean, obviously, you didn't shoot that right here in town. You shot that in Texas, right?
Yep. Yeah, we like to go to spots where you guys can have a good view, have a good scenery, location. You know, we want there to be good substance to the video.
Yes.
And especially with that video, I mean, the first line right out of the gate is, "I am surrounded by tall buildings." And so, like, we really wanted a location to show that it was a vast location. It was very big, but at the same time, all I'm surrounded by is these buildings. And going into writing that song, I really was just thinking about Vermont, thinking about back home, thinking about where I was and where I wasn't. And that was something where, you know, that's part of the reason these songs are so powerful, because it's emotion. Even before I started doing country, my rap stuff, I think the message is always extremely important. I'm not writing stuff about drugs. I'm not writing stuff about relations. I'm not writing stuff about, you know, just pointless stuff, in my opinion. I mean, great elevated music, sure, but I want stuff that really ignites a thought, ignites an emotion, a feeling, creates just for a second just some sort of conversation with yourself and how you feel. And I feel like people don't do that very often. Leaves was something where I really was just having a conversation with myself. I was just being as bare honest as I could. I think that's one of the reasons why it was so impactful.
When I chatted with you, one of the first times you told me that you do have these conversations with yourself, which at times can shift to you just finding a song, finding music that is based on that conversation that you're having with yourself, and it's all of a sudden it's going from the head,
Absolutely.
well, from the soul to the head to the mouth.
Yeah, 100%.
While you're driving down the road.
Yeah, pavement and potholes. That was my mental conversation with speaking to all the residents, dealing with the floods, dealing with, I mean, everything. It's not just flooding you guys have been going through. It's dealing with property taxes rising. It's dealing with the cost of goods. It's dealing with the cost of living here. It's dealing with what we love and we can't even afford anymore. It's crazy. What's yours is not even yours anymore. And that was pavement and potholes, was me having that mental conversation with everyone and seeing how they felt about it. You know, loving to be here, but at the same time, why am I still here? It doesn't make sense. And that's something that I had to come to a grips with about 5 years ago when I made the decision to give it a shot and move to Texas. It was really hard for me to leave Vermont for how long I didn't really know.
Yeah. But look at what you've ended up
Oh,
with.
absolutely. I'm glad I did. Yeah, I met the love of my life. Shot my first 10-point buck. My job's been going amazing. I've been making amazing music down there. I mean, it was an amazing choice for me to move to Texas.
Hair for a little while.
Exactly. Well, it's already long enough, so yes. But no, it was a great choice moving to Texas. But I do miss almost everything that Vermont has to offer.
Listen, let me just say this. I'm going to try to say this without getting choked up. Anybody who has had even a smidgen of thought, wonder, consideration about possibly leaving Vermont for whatever reason, or those who have already left.
It's not a light decision.
No, it's not. Because the people that are here because they love Vermont.
Yep.
And all of its problems. But if you've had even the slightest thought in your mind about what life would be like outside of Vermont, to hear that song right there,
100%.
If you don't choke up,
it's the little things, JD. And one of the very first times I brought Catherine to Vermont, I used to tell her all the time when we were down in Texas, I don't drink much Texas water. I think it sucks. It is not what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And I told her that. I was like, there's something about the water. It is just not that good. And when I brought her up to here, I'm sure most people know this. There's a tap. It's in Hardwick. It's on the side of a mountain. You just pull over, stick your water bottle under the tap. It's the best water in the world. And I told her this, and we
She
did
had it?
She's had it, and she can vouch.
That's something else.
It's some good water. But the things like that, you don't realize until you don't have it. And that's the thing of, trying not to take advantage of being appreciative of things. And that's music for me in a nutshell, with the ability of almost never having the gift of being able to hear. That's something that I have to take advantage of every day.
And you noticed that I haven't really harped on that subject this morning, because first and foremost is your passion and your talent, which overrides
I think so.
Everything else.
Absolutely.
But share with us, because you told me on the phone, I didn't know. You told me on the phone, and I'm 80% hearing impaired.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this guy's really, like, he's screwing with my brain here.
Yeah, it just blows me away.
80% hearing loss.
It must have made so much sense.
I mean,
right?
we went to the party Saturday, and he called me up. He's like, Dad, can you go in my backpack and check? I need some hearing aid batteries. Mine are going down.
I'm going to do a little show, and I can't hear anything.
So I bring it up. I bring the only one up to him that I could find. I'm like, here you go. He's like, oh, thanks. And he put it in, and he's like, it's dead. So he gets up on the little, underneath the little canopy thing, and grabs the microphone and starts singing without it. And I don't know. We got a lot of comments on the Facebook. Of course, we had to post it. Young lady took a couple videos, and we had to post them. I mean,
yeah.
So, and it didn't sound too bad for
Yeah, it wasn't
standing in underneath the canopy with no hearing aids.
Pouring rain, couldn't hear.
I got to tell you, man, it's Yeah, it is.
It's really in here. If you can't tell when you listen to that new album, Roots, I mean, a couple of people commented, when's the song coming out so I can listen to it? Well, I'm telling everybody right now, it's on all the streaming platforms, Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere you can find it. It's on YouTube.
Yep.
It's called Roots. It's got
7 songs total.
Picture of me, him, and Grandpa Dick on the front, and it's a great album. Like I said.
Now listen, if anybody wants a bootleg copy, I'm selling. I'm selling them right now for $25, cash only, please. Thank you.
Hey, $25, you're getting a deal, man. Wait a couple years.
Well, we went to the Stag and Thistle the other night, the portable gourmet dinner in Cabot on the platform over there where there used to be a building, and I'm telling you that we had elk and roasted duck, and
it was really good.
So we met some people from Philadelphia. Of course, I'm the PR guy, so I had to tell them about Bon.
Yeah, of
and
course.
We met a local guy from Cabot too, and he doesn't do any streaming or anything. So I had to rip up the hill in the vet and grab a couple of those CDs, and I brought them down to
Rip up the hill.
to him.
Oh, what a horrible thing! So much work.
I didn't go too heavy on it.
He's only back in 30 seconds.
I love that. Did you get sideways at any point getting those CDs?
I did want to get them back down there before they left, but I got to live. It's a small town. I have to live there, so I went. Yeah. I didn't get too heavy in the foot.
Rick the Rallier. Oh my God!
But you hear him coming before you see him.
So now the couple from Philly has a CD, and the gentleman from Lower Cabot.
Yeah, if you really don't have any way to stream or to get online, I mean, most people I know have it, but if for some reason you don't, hit me up. I'll try and send you a CD. That's not a problem.
Come to the gigs. He can hand a couple out.
I really only just burned a few for a couple people that had told me that they didn't have the ability to listen to some of those streaming services.
Sure.
So I wanted to help some people out, as well as people that I was favoring that I wanted to make sure had a copy.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it so much. I could list off so many wonderful things that this podcast has done for me personally over the last 6 years. But the number one thing, and there's been so many laughs and so many great times, but the number one thing above everything else is the relationships that it has created and what I've heard, what I've experienced, the people that I've met. And you are like the prime example of that. Not only meeting you and getting to know you, but also hearing your music is such a huge takeaway for me. More than anything else, man. And to interview people and witness people living their lives and finding inspiration and motivation to overcome their challenges and doing it in a way where, man, it's like I would never know that you're hearing impaired. 5%, 10%, let alone 80%.
People don't know until.
Well, sometimes he forgets. I'm like walking around the house, I'm hearing
yeah.
somebody starts talking to me, and I'm like, speak up.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, I can't freaking hear you.
Jeez.
I'm deaf. Dad, I'm deaf. I can't hear you.
Yeah. Well, that's a great excuse for, just
He's really adapted. I mean,
being able to ignore, what he's telling you.
It's
Vaughn is an old
selective sometimes.
Vaughn is an old soul. He really is. He's an old soul. I mean, I raised him old school.
Well, it taught me the right life lessons.
I already heard when Catherine first came to my house, she's like, "Oh yeah, I see where he gets it from now." Shut the light off when you leave the room.
Sure.
I used to tell him
asshole.
I used to tell him when he was little, if we're burning electricity, I can't save. That's the money I can't spend on having fun.
Yeah.
That when I told him that, it was like,
that changed things.
Yeah.
That changed things.
So to get just a little personal, but we can just touch and go. If there's anything, just tell me to shut the fuck up.
No worries.
But you guys, the two of you, as a team, father and son, have not had the most exceptionally smooth ride. There have been a lot of
it was kind of rough.
A lot of potholes over the pavement.
Yep.
Very rough.
Yeah.
But here, look at you now. You're how old?
25. I just turned 25 last week.
All right. Happy birthday. So here you go. You're 25 years old, and Rick, you got your kid. You got your kid, man.
There was some. It wasn't all bad. There was some great times, but it got kind of rough, and I had to fly the coop, and it was hard because he was so little, and I felt like I was abandoning him, but I knew I had to get out, and I spent 7 years in litigation, and we got him.
No, I mean, I'll say this.
I took him under my wing, and he just started to fly after that. Never came down.
Well, there was never a sense of abandonment. I'll say that out of the gate. I mean, there was things about my life that I didn't even know until years passed. We lived up right here in Barry Town, right underneath the school, and our house literally collapsed in the middle of winter. Ask me then, I had no idea. I mean, you were at a hotel at the time. He was just making do, figuring out how things worked. There was a lot of things that you did a really good job of shielding me from, allowing me to enjoy what bit of childhood I was still trying to preserve. So that was definitely something, going from both sides of it. Being at my mother's a lot of times, it was a lot of really, really hard work constantly and no reward. And so it took a lot of being a child out of that period of my time, versus my dad really made sure to kind of preserve that and do those things that were engaging our relationship, whether it be going fishing, hiking, hunting, going to see music, going to see football games. There was things that he would always make sure to do, and those kind of things, like that's being a parent. That's being there emotionally as well, not just physically being in the room. I see a lot of parenting nowadays when your phone is just shoved up, excuse me, but straight up your ass. Pay attention to your kids. So, that was something that he did. Obviously there was the points where I would go watch a movie, he would hop on the computer or whatever, and we had our downtime. But there was never in a sense of abandonment or anything like that. We were always, of course we were very stubborn-headed together. I am my father's son. But at the end of the day, I think we took the best path we really could.
During the roughest times, all my money was going to attorneys, and I was trying to just do right by him and, go to work, keep your nose clean, and be a good dad. Love him when he's with you, pray for him when he's not.
Wow.
My dad brought me a canoe and some paddles and an anchor, and he said, "Here, I bought this for you today." It was an old one. He said, "I got it really cheap. Don't worry about it."
But how many memories?
He said, "Take your kid out. Take your kid out fishing."
Oh yeah, all the time.
So we wouldn't even come in till after dark, and that.
Some of my best memories with him, we didn't catch a damn thing. We're just sitting there swearing and yelling at the water.
Caught a few trees.
Yeah.
Fell in the water. But I went to Texas to visit him, and we're out fly fishing in the beautiful Guadalupe River. And what's Dad do? Right in the drink. Soaking wet.
I don't know how someone can stand in 6 inches of water but submerge themselves from the head down to the waist.
What a sad ass.
I didn't ruin my cell phone.
That was amazing.
I'm in the river soaking wet with the T-shirt hanging up in the tree trying to dry it out.
In the middle of Texas winter, so
here comes these guys from Texas with probably like $3,000 worth of Orvis gear fly fishing down through, and the guy says to me, "How they bite?"
But it's such a great feeling, I think, for me, who I've just met you guys, but there's people that are commenting right now that, like Claire Bear.
Claire, yeah.
And there's others that have watched you guys. They've known you, Rick, your whole life, and have watched bond grow from day one.
And most of that was because of him.
Yeah.
I got people I don't even know that know me because of this guy.
But isn't it amazing how, and Rick, I have to just commend you, because there's a lot of parents, I'm not going to say just dads, there's a lot of parents that would be confronted with such huge obstacles and just respectfully not be able to withstand the pressure and to stay in the game. And I'm sure there were many years where you missed bond, but look at what you've got, brother.
I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and
who the hell hasn't?
And you know what? There's a lot of my buddies hanging on my refrigerator right now, and I don't know how I ended up here still. I have no idea, because I should have been dead 100 times. But the one thing that I did not want to let go by was to be his parent. And I don't know how anyone could turn their back on their kid.
No shit. I know.
I could never do it.
Well, you never did. You had to make some really hard decisions.
And I know some people very close to me that have lost their kids, and I don't know how. I don't know how they get through it.
Yeah, no, that's really tough.
I want to thank Sarah Ann, because
Aunt Sarah.
She's commenting right now, because I don't know that I would know you two hooligans.
She's done so much to help.
Unless she was putting the heat on me.
Absolutely. She was my biggest fan.
Yeah, she was. Yes. She was sending me screenshots. She's like, "I'm telling everybody."
No shit.
She was a huge Kicker fan for years.
Yeah.
Every game.
She still is, man. I'll say this. They're not playing right now. If for any reason you guys ever catch wind of Kicker doing a show, even if it's just a one-time thing, if you're not there, you're crazy. You're missing out. I've gotten to see them maybe twice, and like 2 or 3 times in my entire life, because reality is most of their career, I was either not born or I was too young. I couldn't be in the bars or anything like that. So I've only gotten to see him a few times. But you guys always.
You were on stage with us.
Yes, I know. But in comparison to your actual career,
I dragged him up on stage at Rally Palooza. I said, let's see, 2012. How old were you?
13.
Yeah. So I said, Bon. I
13?
said, Bon, we're going to Riley Palooza. There's going to be a whole bunch of bands. Kicker's going to be
Hey,
playing.
shout out to Pat Riley, man. He always threw one hell of a party.
I asked Pat, it was okay. I told the guys from Kicker, we should have Bon sing. So I said, look, I'm going to bring you to this party. I said, you have to be a grown up about it though, because if you're going to be shooting your mouth off and everything, I will never bring you again. I said, you're going to see some stuff you've never seen anywhere. I said, people are going to be getting drunk. You're going to be smoking some weed. You probably see.
You're going to be smelling cigarettes that don't smell exactly like cigarettes.
You're probably going to.
It was an educational night.
You're going to see some women take their shirts off.
Yeah.
I got a big smile out of his face. He's like, "Really, Dad?" I'm like, "Really?"
Wow.
So the kid gets up on stage. We do Radar Love. It's on YouTube. We do Radar Love, and like all of my buddies are like high-fiving him and stuff. And that's how he got his feet wet.
Yep.
Wow.
That was the first time he sang. So I talked the principal at Rumney School into doing they wanted to do a fundraiser. I talked him into he hired
Rusty
Souls blues band with I'm trying to think of Janet Bonville was singing, and
I don't remember what the name.
Andy Lambden played guitar. And so I talked him into letting us do it, and they played, and Bon got up there. He can play a pretty mean blues harp. So he got up there. How old are you then? 6th grade? Let's see. You were like 11 maybe?
Mom was still there, so it was 5th grade.
He got up there with his blues harp, and he wailed on some blues.
That was fun. I started playing, and I was just doing it by myself because they were doing like this little intermission so they could relax. And then they came up one by one and started hopping in on the instruments. And
do you play any instruments now?
I don't really do anything now. My first instrument I ever really started out learning was the piano, and I went from that to the bass. And I really liked the bass guitar because that was something for me. I can't really hear it, but I can feel it. Yeah. So that was always something. I played up at U32. We went to the Flynn Theater. We did some stuff up there. That was really cool. But man, my voice has always been the one instrument that no matter what, no matter where I am, it's always there. I sing all the time. I mean, I've been on job sites where I've had customers be like, "Dude, shut up," and I'm like, "I didn't know you could hear me."
So job sites. So you're an electrician.
Yep. Bit of a different gig.
Well,
pretty good at it.
An electric is he?
If you go on the company's True Tech Electric, they're like the #1 rated service-oriented electrical company in Austin, Texas, which is saying something because there's over 1 million people there. And
we're the best, man.
You go on there and read the reviews. His name's plastered all through there. I was very proud of that.
I don't know. I don't know which side is left brain, right brain, but with electricity, there's a lot of numbers, there's a lot of calculations, there's a lot of
it's very detail oriented.
Symmetry of like either it makes sense or it doesn't make sense, and if it doesn't, you're dead. You really have to be focused on here's the facts.
Oh, 100%.
This is what it is.
Yep.
Then there's music, which is creative, which electricity is not. It is free-flowing. It's a different tap into a different side of your brain.
Yeah.
This old feller's got both, Rick. That's kind of
yeah. Well, you know what? And I'll give credit where credit's due. His mom was an academic scholar, and he got a lot of that from her, I'm pretty sure. All this other stuff, he might have got a lot of that from me. I mean, I used to stand I can remember in 1975, I'm in my bedroom with pillows and cardboard boxes, and I always wanted to be a drummer, and I'm banging on crap, and my mother was like, turn that down. Black Sabbath, Sold Our Souls,
right,
and Kiss Alive, and
turn it down for what?
And I was always singing all the time, and and then AC/DC came on the scene, and I'm singing AC/DC and Triumph and all this stuff in my cellar that's how I ended up. Me and Joe were out on the pond fishing up at Peck's Pond in the canoe, and I kept telling him, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. And he's like, will you shut up and just come down to Pete's on Saturday morning and sing a couple songs. And so he said, I want to hear about it again. So I went down there, and Lady Strange, Def Leppard, and a couple other songs and I didn't know how to really sing properly then, because like right after I sang those songs, I threw up in the trash can. Because it was all up here in my head. I got done singing Lady Strange, and they're all like, wow, that was awesome. And I said, I think I'm going to throw up. So yeah. And immediately did. And Pete's like, wow, you didn't have to think about that too long.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better, because I've never done that, So
that's why I keep telling him, you have to sing from down here and get that air out.
That's good. Yeah, well, and I kind of want to touch on one little thing you said there about it being creative and free-flowing. Especially for me, with the hearing loss that I do have, very rarely is it the same every time, and that's with it coming for the emotions. Like, I know the song, I know the lyrics and everything, but it's not always exact, and I think that's part of the thing that makes it beautiful. Is like, obviously I have my recordings and everything. That's forever in time, but the beauty of being able to go to these different shows, doing something here, what we did at Corey's on Saturday, is that it's always a little different for everybody. I mean, it's along the same lines. Everybody knows kind of what they're going to expect, but I think that just adds a little bit of the rawness into it, when you can see that we're all human. I think that makes a big difference.
You're going to sing 20%.
I'm going to do 20%. I wanted to do 20%, one, because it's a very powerful song for me, both me and my father, because of, how we discovered the hearing loss and, what we've had to overcome during it. But it's also at the end of the album, and I closed out the album with it because it's a really important message, really for me, but also to give people a little bit of insight. And that, it being at the end of the album, probably means it's heard the least out of everything else that I have. So I wanted to give that a little bit of favor today.
Wow. I think it's a huge song. It's one of my favorite ones.
Rick.
It's huge. It tore. I didn't get it at first. I'm like, 20%? So he plays all the songs for me, like when I was one of the first people. And he says, here, Dad. So he'd play the song and he'd give me the phone so I could read all the lyrics. And I mean, Rocket Rick just completely tore me apart. And then
Rocket Rick,
when he played
that nosedive,
when he played 20%, I was like, 20%. And he goes, well, that's about how much hearing I have, Dad. And then he played the song, and I just,
oh yeah,
and then it goes way down in volume, almost near the end. And he said, I wanted the engineer to bring the song down to a level of what I'm hearing versus everybody else.
Yeah. So that'll be a little bit different today. The recording that I do have that I'm going to sing today it doesn't have any editing to the recording. In terms of the actual recording that I have dropped does have those little edits, and that was little Easter eggs almost, because 20% really was it's all I've got. Yeah. It's 20%. And when I have conversations with most people, they don't really realize that is something that I have to deal with every day, or I will be dealing with. In 10 years, it could be 15%. In 10 years, it could be 0%. I don't know. So I'm taking advantage every day that I've got while I can.
Grab these headphones.
Absolutely,
man.
I mean, I'm always bugging him. Like, we go to a concert or whatever. We're in the rig last night. He's got this music like I'm like, dude.
Oh, I'm in it.
Rick, I just want to say to you, man, it's like, just to throw some more love at you gotta, you raised a kid.
He's like my best friend. He's like,
yeah.
Well, my grandpa died in '96. He was my favorite person, and then, my buddy Chuck, who was like my brother, we were like, they called us the law firm, Lafayette Larrabee. We were like going wild, and he passed away in '97. And then Bond came along, and I swear they sent him to me to fill that void.
Oh, absolutely.
And I
understand that.
I said, well, when you look on it, to hear that song about, Hell on Wheels and all that, we always had, I'm thinking, okay, this is a young boy. We got to have some adventures. So we were on adventures all the time. Adventure, 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 adventure. But then, okay, school day, structured regimen, good food at night, get to bed, good shower, do your homework, clean clothes, go back to school, get sports this night, that night. And I'll tell you, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, Freddie LaPierre.
You may lose, but you never quit.
Yeah.
Give it a little perspective before we do this song.
I took him over to Freddie LaPierre's, and
he straightened it out.
I'm telling you, he's the greatest.
Sure.
He is. Well,
But-
anybody who
used to
knows
kick
my
the
father
crap out of each
knows
other.
that he can be loud sometimes. You don't want to piss my dad off. I don't. I did not. I was always in school. I tried very hard, especially coming into high school, middle school, and everything like that. I skipped class one time, and I came home, and he said nothing to me. And that was like the worst punishment that I've ever gotten from my father. He just looked at me and he was just silent, and then he just walked into his bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Then I
didn't
said
do
to
anything
him,
after that.
Then I said, I have never done that in my life.
Of course you have.
Yeah, right.
Of course you have. But to set this song up 20%, Rick,
I'm
he
telling
could have your boy could have named this song 80%, but he didn't. That, my friend, in my opinion, is a reflection on you. That comes back to you, my man, because you raised your kid to say glass is half full. And it's not about the 80% that he doesn't have. It's about the 20% that he does have.
Yeah.
And look what he's doing with that 20%.
Well,
Absolutely.
When he got all these accolades in high school and stuff, and I told him, I said, when he was getting ready to go to Texas, he came to me. He's like, I'm going to Texas, Dad. I was like, you really going to leave? He's like, yeah. I feel like I'm at a dead end here. I want to go. I said, well, if you're really going, let's get on Indeed. So we went and found, because, he was at college. He's like, I hate this crap, Dad. I was shocked that he said, I want to try to be an electrician. So I was like, well, if you're really going, let's look. So he had all these job offers, but he left. I said, you're in your 20s. You're never going to have any more energy than you do right now. Don't wait
God,
for
that
life.
sucks.
Don't wait for life to come to you. Go get it. Go get what you want.
Yep.
And that's a great dad, too. My God.
100%.
He's
all
going
the
to get
time
it.
that he has spent without you, he could
Yep.
have tried to manipulate you in some way
Absolutely.
for his own selfishness.
Well, and I think he
which
had
would
to
be
do the same thing when he was a
justified-
kid.
Which would be justified
Yeah.
to keep you as close as possible to him.
Absolutely.
Well,
he knew I was going to come
a
back.
great
I'm
man
not
right
gonna-
there.
I'm not going to leave him be.
he's done pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'm
Plus,
almost done.
Rick,
Well, then I got my gig going. I got a bunch of projects going. It never.
Yeah,
the
you're
wheel,
always busy.
The wheel doesn't
when
stop
you
turning.
have when you have electrical problems, you're never going to get a bill from an
Oh,
electrician.
trust me, he calls me.
He's such a good son. He's here on vacation. He could have been gallivanting around, but I come home the other day and one half of my garage, which was kind of, it doesn't get much sun. It was all fungus and stuff. I said, how'd you clean that? He said, I scrubbed it. Well, my nephew gave me his pressure washer, which was locked in the garage. He scrubbed that whole side with a rough sponge and water and some soap. I was just like, and he's, what can I do to help you, Dad? What can I do to help you? Every time he flew up here for 2 days for my birthday, surprised me, and then flew back home. It's like, how can you? That just blows me away.
Yeah. He's reciprocating, brother.
100%.
That's all that is.
And
100%.
That's all that is. He's returning love.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate it because ain't no spring chicken anymore.
No.
Of course not. No, I'm always going to be here to help.
How's that? What's that Toby song? I ain't as good as I once was.
Something like that. You want to sing 20%?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right,
it.
let's tell folks first of all,
Get some good water.
a couple of things here. My headphones are off. They're right now on Bond, so that he can hear a little bit better, which
We're going to try and give it our best for you here, folks.
So it's kind of I'm kind of driving blind here on my end because I can't really hear.
Kind of tough
you can,
singing sitting down, so make sure you get some good air. I love this song.
I'll try to adjust levels blind here, but
Put my shades on so people can't see me
if
cry.
if you need more sound,
Just
give me
little
a thumbs up. If you need less, give me a thumbs down, and here we go.
Alrighty.
This is 20% right here, performed live on Aired Out.
I sit by the speaker, it sounds so faint. Hearing's almost gone, but I didn't know a thing. I was given a gift and it changed my life. Hearing streams trickle down, frogs croaking at night. I had to show myself that I wasn't alone. I had to double check the treble clef and other tones for myself. There was sometimes I didn't know right from wrong. Made plenty of mistakes, but it left me strong. My dad always taught me how to sing along, listening for hours, never knowing my hearing is gone. It's what I thought I'd always do. I don't know what I have to prove to you. I'm trying to immortalize songs never die, forever alive. It's what I thought I'd always do. I don't know what I have to prove to you. I'm trying to immortalize songs never die, forever alive. Hey, that felt pretty good.
Damn.
Yeah, brother. Wow. That one kills me. Yep.
I don't even know what to say, man. Really.
Jesus, it tears me up.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
Oh, I tried to sing that song without cheering, I'm honest. I mean, shit.
I'll tell you what. I'm your dad, and I love you. And people can say I'm biased, but I'll tell you what. That's a hell of a voice right there.
You had a good damn reason to be biased.
That's a hell of a voice. That. How can you not love? How can you not love that song? That's beautiful. I told him this morning, you need to sing that one.
Yep.
What do you aspire to do with your gift? And we should mention that you're going to be performing here in Vermont live.
Yeah, I've got a show on the 6th in Williamstown at the Den.
The 11th.
Did I say the 6th?
Yeah.
Sorry, at 7 o'clock. It's an open mic. Williamstown on the 11th. Yep, this Wednesday at the Den. On Thursday, on the 11th, the 12th. Jesus, now I'm getting all messed up. On Thursday the 12th, I'll be in Cabot at Harry's Hardware in the Den. And I'm trying to do something on Saturday, hopefully at Tunbridge Fair with Donna Thunder. They invited me to the stage on Sunday, but I'm already going to be gone Sunday mornings when I'm flying out. So we're just trying to work with, what we can as far as appearances. Our buddy Corey Copeland hit us up and wanted us to come eat some food and do some music, so we decided to pop over for that. But in terms of what I want to do with this music, I just want to reach the right people. That's always every time I hear a song, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this. There's been one song in your lifetime that you hear it once and you listen to it 40 times in a row because, man, there's something about the chords or the notes or the message.
That's been happening.
There's
already.
Something about it.
That's been happening already.
That to me, I have a lot of songs like that where I love it and it just resonates. And that's something I just want to connect with people. I want to. As well as, get my story out there and let other people know. I've had other people reaching into me like, hey, my kid's losing his hearing. He feels bad about it. And I've, had conversations with them, stuff like that. But it's not like I'm not trying to compete with people. I'm not trying to be the best. I'm just trying to make music. I'm trying to be happy, and I'm trying to love doing it.
What about marketing it? What about building into some financial reward? I mean,
yeah,
but
absolutely. I've got advertisements out there. My stuff is for sale, so if people want to go buy my music, they absolutely can. Okay. I really want to start getting into some merch. I want to get some shirts, some sweatshirts, hoodies. I love hoodies. I want to get some hoodies made. I have my personal logo that I have tattooed on me that I would like to get on a shirt, but I have an actual professional logo that I have done. This is my personal logo. I'd like to get that out there. But that would be really cool. I definitely
gigs, man.
I try and be humble. It's very hard for me to market myself in the aspect of like, hey, look at me, check this out, check me out. And it's always been about checking my music because like that, it's separate. I feel like from me, obviously I know it's not. But I've never been a huge like specific spotlight guy and stuff. And I'm not trying to take all the attention or take all this or that. And I just want people to listen to my music
and connect.
I think there's some of these songs, I think, if they can get in the right set of ears, somebody that really matters,
with 80% more hearing,
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to hit. I think they're going to just take off. I mean, All In. I think All In. Every time I hear All In, it's like having a cup of coffee. That song just picks me right up, and yeah. I swear, and I gave Bon some ideas. I grew up with MTV music, so. I said
that's a style we got to bring back.
So I told him we got a little secret going on. I think we should keep it a secret, but
yeah,
I told him we got a big plan for that song.
And this is a guy that's saying this about your music, and he's an old rocker.
Oh yeah, well,
he's
and
an
that's
old
All
thick-skinned
In is
fella.
All In. I was talking to Christian the other day. All In, you can listen to it on the beat I have now. You could get it on a heavy metal track. You could have somebody.
No,
it is a song that
sure.
like. It's pumping, I honestly, when I first wrote it, I was like, I loved it, and I was listening to it a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, I could almost even be happier with a little bit harder of a beat because it is powerful.
I told
lyrics,
him the other day we got to get.
But it is a great song, and we do have some ideas. It's just time. Being in Texas, being here in Vermont, wanting to do what we want to do. The big thing that's really tough for me, and we haven't talked about him a whole lot, but Caleb Lewis. My best friend, he does all my editing, all my videography. He does everything else besides me writing the song and singing it. He does it. And that's tough because we both work at the same company. When I got my wireman's license a couple years ago, I had him hired on with our company. So right now, he's basically at the same level I am, doing the same type of job. So at our company, losing two people that bring in a bunch of money and do stuff like that is really tough.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're trying to deal with right now is being able to do stuff together without setting our company in a financial crisis.
Oh, my God. Wow.
You'll do it.
Yeah. No, we will. We will. It's just a little bit of planning.
So possibly up on stage with Donna Thunder Thursday at Tunbridge.
So
Saturday.
Wednesday is going to be Williamstown at the Den. Thursday is going to be the 12th. That'll be up in Cabot at Harry's Hardware in the Den. If you want to come see...
What time is that?
That's going to be at I wrote 6. I think she has it on for 7. I'll have to really double check with her. 6 to 7 is right time.
I know a tattooed hippie lives up the road from Cabot. We could have a beer party there.
If you really want to see me perform live where it's just me doing my own thing, Cabot's the better place to go to. I actually was talking to Joanna yesterday. She's in charge of Harry's Harbor and the Den. I am actually, per her request, going to be doing a couple of my rap songs as well. She had a couple she wanted me to do too.
Yeah. And then Thursday.
And then Saturday is Tunbridge Fair. Saturday's Tunbridge Fair. I'm going to be talking with them on Wednesday, a little bit more to kind of concrete that. I think they're going to be playing either near the Cow Barn or at the Cow Barn. They have like just a spot where they set up and people will, kind of walk by. I would love to get on the stage, but I told myself 10 days. I do fly out Sunday morning, and unfortunately, I could keep giving myself the excuse every week to stay here longer.
Yeah.
Well, we're going Saturday night to see.
We're going to be going Friday and Saturday to Tunbridge Fair.
We're headed over there. We want to see. We want to see my buddy Scott Campbell and Jeff and those guys.
Absolutely. I got to take Catherine to the pig races. I mean, you can't go to Tunbridge Fair and not go to the pig races. Come on now.
She's got a smirk on her face. What the hell's that all about? This is very serious, Catherine. They're the little piglets. They're running around.
Are you driving?
There's money on this shit.
Probably.
This is like horse racing.
I want to hit the beer tent for a little while. So.
Honestly, the thing that I am most excited for, and you probably have one in there, is I want to take a photo. We used to take a photo every year.
Oh, the
old-timey photo.
Oh, I got
you
one.
guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, we're dressed up, we're cowboys, we're
I brought
gangsters, whatever.
Right here, man. He's got it right.
I want to take one of them. We used to take one every year, and we haven't taken one in over 10 years.
I knew this was coming up, so there's a little bit of dust on it.
And I'm excited to take one with Catherine, but me and my
cleaning
dad,
lady
we used
hasn't
to do
been
it.
around.
And
where do I have to hold it?
Right there.
So that I'm excited to take a new one of those.
I don't know what year. I can't. I don't know. It was like. I don't know.
We haven't been at Tunbridge in a long time.
I got like 5 of these at home.
Yep.
Badass.
No, I'm excited to take one of those. That honestly is. That's a big one for me.
4-year-old holding a Tommy gun. Then we go to the doctors and they're like, "Do you feel safe at home?" Bond's like, "I feel safer with my dad than anybody." I got more guns than my dad.
Thank God you said that you feel safe with your dad. Wow.
Oh, trust me, I said it for a long time. It just took a while for them to listen.
Listen,
Once
man.
they did, though.
I have to tell you, when the first time that I chatted with Bon by telephone, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, Bon, okay. I don't think I've ever spoken with or met someone by the name of Bon. And I was just a little curious, and I was going to ask the question, but before I had a chance to ask it, he told me that he was named after Bon Scott.
Yeah.
Rick, on behalf of myself and everyone on the planet, thank you.
Oh, it's one of the best things he ever did.
That's
I
one
have
of the
so many
best
conversations about my name. I really do. I love my name. It's unique. You can't find another one of me on Facebook.
No.
There's never any confusion. I mean, I do. I love my name. I am very... People ask me all the time, what is it short for? And I'm like...
Well, the first, a lot of people are like, "Oh, Bon Jovi?" No.
Hold the phone.
I love Bon Jovi, but...
So
No, we're talking about the original rap.
So you're obviously
huge.
You're going to die an AC/DC fan.
Well, so his 16th birthday, they were going to be playing at Gillette. I'd already seen them a few times, and they were going. Actually, me and my buddy Chuck got kicked out of Miami Arena, the Razor's Edge tour.
No way.
We were
There's going to be a book published
we were behaving
about that.
ourselves. But I did get some AC/DC money and
is
stuff.
Netflix going to be making a movie about just that?
Dude, you can make a literal life series on him. Yeah.
But I'm all of his birthdays and everything. It's buying him something is fine, but we had to do some adventures. So that kid saw the 40th anniversary tour of the Allman Brothers when he was 10 years old.
Oh, I mean,
we were like 12th row from the front.
Let me just rattle through real quick. All right, I started with Toby Keith. I've seen Leonard Skinner. I've seen the Doobie Brothers. I've seen Black Sabbath. I've seen Slayer, Asking Alexandria, Slipknot, Motorhead, Lamb of God, Anthrax, Met Pop Evil. We saw AC/DC. We've seen.
I took them to Corrosion of Conformity.
Corrosion of
I got
Conformity,
pictures
yep.
with Pepper Keenan. I mean, I bumped into Pepper Keenan at the T-shirt rack. His and our buddy Jerry that we met there. Me, him, and Jerry. Me, Pepper, and Jerry. I've been looking at the T-shirts, and I was like, Jerry, that guy looks familiar for some reason. He's like, that's Pepper. You know, he's in Down and Corrosion of Conformity. So that was a good night. And
you know what? Let actually just hold on. I just want to paint a picture real quick for you guys. That night, he took me and my best friend Caleb. That was prom night. We told him we wanted to go to the concert with him, and he was like, all right, cool. So he took us to go to the show.
Damn.
We skipped prom, and we went and rocked out. It was a hell of a night.
You'll never regret
It was
that.
great. Oh, not at all. Not at all. No.
I was in the Lamb of God pit the whole time. I had to crawl. Yeah. I had to fall to my knees and crawl out to get out because they let you out, you know.
Lord help us all.
They were up front, but
we were watching Five Finger Death Punch. That was a really cool show. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That was cool. We've seen them together twice now too.
Listen, no disrespect to Five Finger Death Punch, but how was it seeing Angus Young, brother?
Oh my God.
We had really good seats.
He had like a 20-minute solo. He started out. He came out on this little catwalk. He's ripping. I mean, he's just doing his thing. Everyone's having a great time. Then it just goes quiet. Everyone's kind of like looking around, and we're going like, what the hell's going on? And then next thing you know, you hear him start ripping again, and he's running across all the lights on top. Like, he's not even harnessing. He's just running across the top of the stage. It was the most wild concert. Everybody in there, so it was the concert of Rock or Bust. And they all had the devil horns. That whole stadium was going
That's
nuts.
a really good album.
I love God. That album. It was such a cool show. Such a cool show. And especially for my 16th birthday.
It was like 75,000 red flashing
It was amazing.
horns.
I mean, being in Gillette Stadium for us was always a treat, regardless if we were seeing a Pats game or a concert. But
Brother,
yeah, that was
my adventures. I said you got to see Ozzy before it's too late. You got to see Lemmy. Yep. He got to see Lemmy.
We saw Lemmy before he died. We were really lucky.
Well, let's be honest about Ozzy, okay? It was too late many years ago. Okay? But listen, man, it's my listeners know that my favorite band is AC/DC.
Absolutely.
Always has been since I was probably 10 years old, 1980.
I know it's probably too broad to ask what your favorite song is, but do you have a favorite album?
So I saw
For Those About to Rock.
I saw For Those About to Rock tour in '81.
You bastard.
I would have killed to see that.
Bastard, I was 11 years old. Why didn't you invite me, Rick?
We were pulled over at customs. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he never told me any of this while I was going to high school. And then on my 18th birthday, he said, sit down.
There's something I need to tell you. Well, there's some things.
Let me tell you a couple things.
But what was it like when Bon Scott left the world for you, Rick?
So, I think I was I was a sophomore year. I think me and my buddies we had silk screening class, so we made the AC/DC Highway to Hell shirts, and we'd all wear them to school.
That's how you know the era right now.
We'd all wear them to school the same day, like we were a gang, And then when Bon Scott died, when he died, I was like, it was like a family member dying.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a huge. My mom, I'd be cranking the music so loud, she'd always be hollering up, "Turn that down!" So
what are you gonna do with your life?
She'd tell me to turn it down, and I'd pull out the Let There Be Rock album, and I believe it was Let There Be Rock album, and I'd put Problem Child on as loud as I could go. Beautiful.
But if I didn't make my bed, oh Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so well. And you know what? When Brian Johnson came on the scene, it took me.
No, you didn't listen to that album for a long time.
No, we did listen to it, but I just kept bitching about it. It took me a couple of, like a lot of albums, like Pink Floyd, The Wall. It took me a while to get wrapped up into that, but once you get into it, and then Brian Johnson, it just took me I did not want to accept it. It took me a couple months to accept it.
You didn't want to accept that? I didn't want to accept Axl
I was
Rose.
just
what the
freaking
fuck
thinking
was
about that. I
all
was just
about?
thinking about that. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that was all I could think of.
Why could that, how?
Yeah.
I wish they'd have called. I wish they'd have called me instead. I would have loved to.
They're like, should we put this animal to sleep peacefully? They're like, no, let's beat it with a golf club. And I was
Thank you.
what the
well,
Thank you.
just
and you know,
I was just thinking that, man.
now there's been rumblings that they're gonna go out again, and
We were
but
just watching a video
Cliff
of
Williams-
them. Where were they, in Europe or something?
Cliff Williams isn't gonna go this time, and
Angus's hair is white.
Oh, I've seen it.
You
Yeah,
know, they don't-
I've seen it.
so him and Brian, I guess, are gonna go, and I don't know if Phil Rudd's going, but I know Cliff Williams isn't going. But you know what?
Just to see him.
Brian, Brian
look at the stuff that Ozzy's still doing right now.
I know.
I mean,
know.
they're doing it because, I get it because I haven't been on stage in 6 years, and I know why they're doing it because that's all they know, and it's like,
and they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, how do you stop when it's like, who was talking about it? You know, when the lights all shut off and there's no amps on and everything, and then
Oh,
It's
Ordinary Man, Ozzy Osbourne. I think he says it.
that's
out
a
of
really
that.
quiet. That's a really quiet place to be. It's like, where do you, when you've had all that success and all that money and all those crowds, it's like then you don't have that. That's a pretty quiet place to be, I think.
Yeah.
When I'll say this,
So you know what?
We
You're
saw that
too
Ozzy
old-
concert.
Never too old to rock and roll.
He definitely messed up a couple of the songs.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what song. I couldn't tell you what words.
Right.
But I could tell you I had a great fucking time.
Sure, yeah.
I loved it.
You-
I had the best time
I'm
of my
so
life.
jealous,
you couldn't
man.
find a single photo of me at that Ozzy concert where my tongue wasn't out.
Bro, I'm
Catching
listen.
flies.
I'm 53. I've dreamed of seeing AC/DC my whole life. That's
Yep.
like number one bucket list, and everyone that knows me knows that.
Oh, I was
so-
blown away, and
I'm so jealous,
He didn't
dude.
tell me like a week before. No, he told me like 8 months before. So every day I'm just slowly dragging along, waiting to get
So
to
look,
August.
the tickets came on sale in February. So I'm thinking, oh, this will be the most awesome 16th birthday party.
Oh yeah.
So I said, hey, what are you doing August 22nd? And he's like, well, Dad, that's a long ways away. I'm like, yeah, I know. He goes, well, my birthday's the 26th.
Like I had to tell him, obviously.
I said, well, that's what I'm getting at. I said, I know what you're going to be doing on the 22nd. He says, you do? I said, yeah. And I showed him a photo of 4 AC/DC tickets. He's like, Dad.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's awesome.
So, you know, me being the parent, well, you know what? If you screw up between now and then, I will take my buddies and we'll all go and you will not go.
Oh, it was the worst 8 months of my life. I had that hanging over. I had
course
to be
you
the
did.
best kid in the
Of
world.
course you did.
Oh my goodness. That
So,
was,
well, I took Bernie. Me and Bernie went. That
Yep.
was my payoff for helping him.
I didn't know Bernie went.
Yeah, Bernie
That
helped me
bastard.
record my 2 songs, all on top of you and all worn out, and he helped me record those. And I said, Bern, let's go. I'm taking you. So Bernie, I told Bon, you take one of your buddies, I'll take mine. So he took Logan, I took Bernie.
Bernie's my neighbor, bro. He never told me he went to see
Bernie's a solid-
AC/DC.
He's a good dude.
Bernie's a solid dude.
He is. He's a really good dude.
And you know, he told me, he's like, well, yeah, I'm not too into them, but you know.
What?
So you know,
I know, right?
No, he really said that. So, and then after that show, he's like, dude, I am so glad you brought me to that. No, he did. He's like, I think that's the best. Yeah, we do have a picture on Facebook. You, me,
I was trying to see
you,
if I
me,
could find
Bernie,
us.
and Logan.
Yeah, it was a great photo.
I think there's some birds flying by.
I was trying to see if I could find it, but my
My
God, we
God.
post so many things.
I know mine. I know my. I do have a picture of me holding up a big draft. Too.
I don't know, but you know what? I'll put this one up here. I'll show you this one here, JD. This is young me and Dad at another one of my events that he would take us to. So that was we were tailgating, we were eating venison, and we were cooking, doing a little tailgate. We brought us some potatoes, onions, and venison.
Patriots game.
Yeah, we're at the Foxborough game. Yep, and we had these guys walk by, and they were like, "Man, that smells good." I forgot we traded them venison for something. I don't, or we gave them some. or
Hey, you know what? If you're gonna roll.
Yeah. It
know?
was really cool.
There's
was.
There's slow, there's fast, there's half-assed. We don't do that.
Can I just ask a question? Can I go to a concert with you guys sometime? Please.
Man, what's the next one? Yeah, we saw Metallica last year twice with Five Finger, and we saw Prong in the parking lot, and Pantera was there with Zach Wilde. That was awesome. But we got to figure out what
Actually,
we're going to see next.
you
know who's playing in Austin is Creed and Three Doors Down. And I was like,
that would be really good.
So awesome.
That would be really
I'm
good.
like, that'd be a hell of a show. They played at the Moody Center. It's like 10 minutes from my house.
Well, the 11th, which is Wednesday, you're going to be up at the Den in Williamstown.
Yes, sir.
For open mic night.
Yep.
6 p.m.
Yep.
Then the very next night, Thursday, you're going to be up at Cabot at the Den. That's also plan on 6 p.m. for that.
Yeah.
And if things change, we'll let you know here on Aired Out. And then
you just have to hang out and drink beer for a few.
Yeah,
it's not the
you're
worst
right.
excuse you guys have had. So.
And then on, that's right. Maybe Saturday, Tunbridge Fair. You'll be over next.
I actually had I forget who it was. I only got to see it for a second, but Positive Pie hit me up this morning, wanting me to come play some music. I just don't have any more time until I saw that. So next time I come back,
That's my spot.
When I come back, if you guys want, if you have a business or you want me to play somewhere, anything like that, just let me know.
Check with the booking agent.
Yeah, that's a
Absolutely.
great idea. That's a great idea.
Check with the booking
That's my
agent.
go-to there, Positive Pie. And well, we went to the so Positive Pie. I go there a lot, and then we went to
If you haven't had the barbecue pizza at Positive Pie, you're missing out.
We went to the Cork and Fork last night.
It was very nice. They had a mushroom ravioli special.
Telling you.
Oh, these fried green beans too.
They had these. So Vaughn was driving, so they had these Man of War drinks. I'm telling you what. I told the waitress, I'll have the Man of War, please, heavy on the war.
Was it like one of those poo-poo platter drinks?
It was all booze.
That'll put you in a coma?
Yeah, it was all booze. The glass was kind of a little,
Okay, it was a cocktail. It was a fine dine cocktail. There was like maybe 3 ounces of liquid in the drink. Like it wasn't like
and
that.
and a lemon rind. I thought somebody
He's like, "What is
left
this?" I'm like, "It's a rind." He starts eating it. And he's like, "Yep."
No, those were pretty good.
Listen, I want you to take us out this morning with Pavement and Potholes.
Absolutely. Let's definitely do that.
Set it up. I'm going to play it right here off of the Green Mountain Boy YouTube channel. You got to get on YouTube and subscribe to Green Mountain Boy. Not the Green Mountain Boy, but just Green Mountain Boy. You got 189 subscribers. That's not right.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, and they got to
need
hit
a
the
lot
Roots.
more.
They got to hit the Roots album
Well, I mean,
too.
the reality is we're all helping
Okay.
each other.
So Leaves right now has 17,000 views.
Yep.
And we got 189 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Shit's got to change.
Time to hop on the bandwagon, folks.
Yeah, we're gonna hammer this and get more
love
subs
that.
for you because you need them. You got to get
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
But set this up. Pavement and Potholes. It was you came to Vermont a short
Mm-hmm.
time ago. You shot a quick video. It's up on your YouTube channel now. A song called Pavement and Potholes. You just wrote it recently, based on the flooding that a lot of your family and friends over in Plainfield.
Everyone's dealing with it. I mean, Plainfield is just the most perfect example for me because that is where I spent a lot of my time, and the damage there was insane. But there was quite a few places. I mean, even my cousin up here on the hill, he lives right up above Thunder Road, and I mean, in the last year, his basement has flooded. However many times the railroad tracks have gotten washed out with dirt underneath it, just gone because it just overflows from the quarry and it goes right down the train tracks.
Yep.
So there's lots of locations that are dealing with this. I came home for about 36 to 48 hours. I had a very small window of opportunity to shoot the shots that we had. But
Thanks,
I love
Caleb.
the video.
Caleb did a phenomenal job with
Well, he was there all week.
The drone
doing
footage.
drone footage
Yeah.
and getting small shots, and like I was there only with him for a day, and I just went to a couple locations, but he did a whole bunch of going around the state getting a bunch of stuff for us. If you actually watch through the whole video, at the very end there's a little conversation that we have. We're actually out towards between Worcester and Elmore, walking down a path, and we had a little conversation just off of the message that I wanted to relay from this video to you guys. But it's one of those songs that, like you were saying earlier, it's a tear jerker. You know, I sing that song and I almost cry when I sing it because it's real.
Yeah.
It's the important thing.
people that want to buy your music, just to close out here this morning, what's the best way to buy this song, or to, I mean, you can listen to it on YouTube.
Yep.
But your new album.
Yeah, so if some streaming services already have a subscription, so if you're using Spotify, I'll be getting a small amount of percentage off of that every time you stream. If you want to buy the actual album, the easiest place to go to is iTunes, or I think it's Apple Music now. It's one of those. But I'm a Spotify user myself, so that's what I like to use. But any place that you go to buy music, any place you go to listen to music, you can find my music. I promise you that.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We can find some CDs if you're old school.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's a CD? We're not even making cars with CD players anymore.
I'll have to bring you a cassette then. My bad.
8-track.
Hey, I had an 8-track in my first car, so.
Was it a station wagon with an 8-track?
I had a couple station wagons with the 8-track.
God.
You know, you could fold that seat down if you want to go camping.
Holy shit.
Firewood in the back. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Pavement and potholes right now for you. Bon, thank you so much for coming in
Thank
here.
you for having us, JD.
Thank you for having us, yeah.
Rick, thank you so much for being an ass-kicking dad and raising such a great kid, man.
You know what? It's just,
Really?
I just don't know how everybody's. I was just doing what I thought I should do. I mean, my little boy.
Did the right thing, man.
He's
Did
a
the
good
right
man.
thing.
He's
Yeah.
a good man now.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
Love you,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Damages dawn, floods come to pass, pavement and potholes, overgrown grass. The time has escaped me, I know we're here together, fighting our battles regardless of the weather. Hard to remember when I was alone, surrounded by what I know has gone. I tried to scream for help, but I could not find the words. The farmers are leaving, I bet the trees are next. That's what makes Vermont the last time I checked. How much has changed? When will it stop? Will that hourglass break? I'm done watching that clock. I can't take it. Time's flying by. I can't take it. Time's flying by. I thought to myself before, what the hell am I still doing here for? I'm working for a life. Sometimes my happiness is the price I don't wanna pay. But day after day, mountains always peak and the rivers always flow. Hard times created, washed away all the roads, even the pavement and potholes. I've never felt so so distant, in the valley lays my home. But every time we've sat back, my God, how we've grown. It's amazing. These lives that we're saving, how much has changed when we're